This is CNN Breaking News.
Good evening, everyone. This is CNN Tonight. I'm Don Lemon.
And I'm Alisyn Camerota.
Thank you for joining us. Two big breaking news stories tonight. First, the investigation of Flight 17 shot out of the sky. You're looking now at pictures from the crash site in Ukraine where the sun is about to come up. We are the first network on the scene, and I must warn you that what CNN is finding there is very disturbing. Bodies still lying in the field, wreckage and personal effects scattered for miles around.
And the world demands answers and justice for the 298 people who were killed. We will learn more about them in the next 2 hours. And what will the world do if Russia did indeed provide the weapons that brought down the plane? We'll ask our experts about that. Our other big story is the showdown in Gaza. Israel warning that it may expand the ground offensive. The death toll is growing in the fight against Hamas, and 40,000 Palestinians have been forced to flee. President Obama says he supports Israel's right to defend itself, but he hopes they can minimize civilian casualties. So how much collateral damage is too much, and will Israel pay any price for security?
And Alisyn, I want to welcome you to CNN. It is an honor to work with you tonight, and it's good to have you here.
Thanks so much. I'm happy to be here on such an important story.
Great. Let's begin with this breaking news now, Alisyn. A senior Obama administration official tells CNN that Alisyn, it's just the scope of this, over 6 square miles of farmland virtually, basically in a war zone, and then you have bodies decomposing. It's horrific.
And I'm struck by the emptiness of the crash site. I've never seen anything like it. Phil is the only network correspondent there, and I can't believe that there aren't more people around him.
You see it's tapered off. Investigators are on the scene. You can't even get close, and he says it. You know, I can't believe we are this close.
Right. Meanwhile, the black boxes that he was talking about may hold the key to the investigation, but who has them? Joining us now is CNN's aviation correspondent Richard Quest. Richard, what do we know about the black boxes? One of the victims of Flight 17 was Sister Philomena Tiernan. She's a 77-year-old teacher and Roman Catholic nun who dedicated her life to inspiring her students. One of those students was Lucy Thackeray. Lucy is now a reporter for the Mail Online, and she joins us now. Lucy, thanks so much for being here. We understand that you just got out of a memorial service for Sister Philomena. Tell us what that was like.
I did. It was really moving. There were lots of people there that were all affected by her life, and people of all kinds of generations that just showed that she had been a member of the community for so long, and it had had a huge impact on so many people's lives.
Lucy, how did you get the news of the crash, and how did you hear
it was really
that
important because people came together, and that's what Phil was all about. She was about bringing people together and about nurturing people and looking after people, and that's what she gave, and it's been amazing to see this outpouring of love for her. It's incredibly important that this is about the life she had and what she gave to people, rather than the horrible circumstances in which she left the world.
And let's talk about that. You call her your mentor. So what did she teach you?
She would speak on Monday mornings to the borders, and she would reflect on what was happening in the world, and she gave us a real power to be able to talk about what was happening, but as well how we could make changes in our own lives and what impact that would have. And so Phil was a really quietly spoken, gentle woman, but in taking the time with people, she'd always stop and speak, and she connected and she cared, and she had an ability to really understand every single person and the gifts that they had, which is so rare, and people rush around these days and they don't stop. And it's in that way that we can see now that people are cherishing her, and people are changed, and their whole lives have been changed, because as an educator she had that power to quietly, not in a big way, not in a loud way, but to make an impact. And so she would talk about these big issues. She was an incredibly intelligent woman, and would tell us how we actually in our lives, as tragic as it was, could treat each other nicely and could reflect and be quiet and find peace within ourselves, and how that would really
important when it's so hard and these problems make no sense, because we can make more sense of what we actually can do when we feel so helpless.
And Lucy, do you know what she was doing on the flight, why she was traveling?
Yeah, it's actually really lovely. She had gone over there because she is a member of the Society of the Sacred Heart, and she'd gone over there for a conference, and I understand it had been a really spiritual experience for her, and for someone who was all about love and connecting with people. She'd also gone there to see the founder of the society, who she dedicated her whole life to see the site in which she was laid to rest and see memorials. So our headmistress had spoken to her the day before, and she was very much looking forward to coming home, but had had a really beautiful experience. And we all hoped that she had had a really lovely experience, and that had brought meaning and happiness to her at the time.
Of course, that is a nice way to remember her. Lucy Thackeray, we're sorry that you've lost your mentor and your friend, and thank you for sharing her with us tonight.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk about someone who made such a change, and the things that she told us hopefully will help us to make sense of something that was so awful, and to all be better people and to love each other and take care of each other.
I hope so. That is certainly the silver lining of a tragedy like this. Lucy, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
I'm always struck when people come on and they have the strength to talk about someone they've lost. It was a lovely tribute to her mentor.
Yes, and I mean, also 298 people, it's a staggering number. And when you look at each one of their lives individually, it gets all the more heartbreaking.
Yeah, and we're learning more about who the victims are and what their lives were like and what kind of people they were, and we will share them as this continues here on CNN. Meantime, President Obama is turning up the heat on Vladimir Putin, but the Russian leader is blaming Ukraine's government for the downing of Flight 17. Our experts are going to weigh in next.